Takes money to make money, right?
You use quotes, but that's so true,
but
right?
if you're going to invest in something, you're going to invest in something that's well worth it, right?
Yeah. Welcome back to the Reganard Report. Today, we have Carolyn Castaneda. See, I didn't screw it up. I'm so bad with everyone's name, and I always overthink it, but I got it right.
You got it.
Caroline started and operates Smiley Graphics and Promotional Items, I think is the official big name. Maybe
Smiley
not even
Graphics and Promotions.
Motions, no items. Okay, well, promotional items. So I got that in. I put that in there. Anyway, so we're excited to have you on here to talk about promotional items because a lot of people use them. You know, it's in most people's businesses in some way or some fashion. Yeah. And probably people don't even understand, right? So excited to kind of talk about that and how you can use branding to help elevate your business in a positive way, right?
Absolutely.
I think, you know, from a society, people think promotional items are just pens, right? But there's so much more, and there's so much kind of a way to elevate your business through a gift or a promotional item. So
Absolutely.
Excited to have you on. We appreciate you coming on here. We appreciate your support with Real Producers. And so without further ado, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate the time and being here.
Yeah. So when we say promotional item, what is the definition of a promotional item?
So a promotional item is anything you use to advertise your business. A lot of people think of it as pens and tchotchkes, but it also comes to your branded T-shirts, your uniforms for your employees, your vehicles, the things that you use when you are on the site, such as NCRs and invoices and things that you use while you're there, the receipts that you give people, those are also your promotional items. Anything that you leave behind to keep you top of mind for your client is considered a promotional product.
Wow. You know, it's funny because I realize some of those, but there's so much more that in a business, even in marketing, like you don't realize how much can be left behind and what you can put your brand on.
Right. And everything is a reflection of your brand, right? Your business card, of course, is your very first impression. But then there's anything that you're leaving behind. Your receipts need to be very clear on who you are, what you can do, and what your policies and procedures could be, especially for the tradesmen. We need return items. We need warranty items, those kinds of things left on there.
Yeah. So has promotional items been in your blood for a while, or like?
Oh gosh. So I've been doing this business for almost 18 years this November.
Yeah. Wow.
So just a couple of years.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It's like a full-born child.
Right. And it's changed a lot, right, over the years.
Absolutely. It used to just be pens, but now like we have such cool items available at our fingertips that we couldn't even dream of years ago. I mean, even when you're looking at gigabytes to hold like flash drives and things that like we would have never given away.
True.
18 years ago, that wouldn't have even been a thought process, right?
It also would have been thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
The thumb drive wasn't an inexpensive little gift.
Thing. Or even power banks, you know, or portable chargers are a great thing for technology people, right? Because we're all on the go and we all need a power bank. We all need extra juice for our cell phones. So those are great newer ones, right? My favorite for realtors, silly enough, is a pizza cutter, because who's going to throw away a pizza cutter? They're going to keep it in their kitchen forever.
That's a good one.
Great ending gifts for real estate agents are also cutting boards. A lot of people used to give away Home Depot gift cards. Well, you buy a gift card, it goes in your bag, you never open it up. It's almost a waste of money because who uses the gift cards they're given?
And once it's spent, it's not top of mind.
You never remember that, right?
Right.
So I have a laser engraving machine. I love to find a saying or something that's close to that realtor. Along with the family name, we can either do last names or all the first names of everyone in the house, because sometimes we're a blended family. We don't have the same last name. And then on the back, we can engrave their information on the back, which really keeps them top of mind for their clients. They're going to keep it in their kitchen. They're going to display it on their counter. And every time they take it out and use it for cheese and crackers, they're going to think of you.
Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest thing. I remember someone telling me about a gift, and it was like gift giving, right? And the philosophy behind it. And the example was they had a client, was huge in bobbleheads. Mm-hmm. That person then said, okay, I've discovered, with the collection that they're missing X, Y, and Z. It was through conversation or something. and the person then got the client that bobblehead.
Absolutely.
And, when you look at it big picture, every time that now client goes by the collection of bobbleheads, he's going to remember that realtor or whoever it was, that business owner, that person got me that bobblehead. Right. So talk about top of mind, right? It is relevant every single time.
And what's the likelihood that he's going to toss out the bobbleheads? He's never going to throw those away. But it's easy for a pen to get lost. You use up notebooks and you throw them away. You want things that are, number one, sustainable, because we're in an environment now where people are just everything is toss away, right? Nothing is special anymore, right? So we're so easily, everything is garbage. I'm going to throw it away. I'm moving. I'm going to toss it out. The pen doesn't work. It goes.
Right.
We use up the notebooks. They're gone. Right. So, but if we give something that they will use in the future, they're going to keep it and they're not going to throw it away.
So that's different than like gifts and promotional items. Very different then, in a sense.
Somewhat. In gifts, you're going to spend a little bit more, right? And that's a client that is already with you, and that you're saying that you appreciate their business, right? But a promotional item might be something that you just leave behind with someone that may be a potential client, right? So thinking of expos or things that you're out at or networking events, that kind of thing. You're going to go for a less expensive item, but you still want something that they're not going to throw away.
So how do you help a client navigate that? Because you're right. Like I would like a power bank, but if I'm a business leader and I'm going to an expo and there's 500 people there, 500 power banks is not cheap.
Right.
So how do you kind of navigate that and steer a client into understanding when they should spend a little bit extra? I mean, besides once they've already had the client, obviously, but like when they're in that growth stage.
Well, looking over at their overall budget and their item line, right? So if I'm selling $10 tchotchkes, I don't want to invest in a $10 item to give away, right? But if my ticket is $1,000, I'm willing to put more of a $10 item as a giveaway in hopes that I would get that return client, right? Because you have to think of the value of your item versus the value of what you're selling and keeping those kind of in line, right?
That's a good point, right?
Because it takes money to make money, right? So if you're going to...
You use quotes, but that's so true, right?
If you're going to invest in something, you're going to invest in something that's well worth it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to a person who's selling something for like a $5,000 marketing company and they're giving away 25-cent pens, come on.
Right.
Like, let's make it
even playing field, right?
Yeah,
like it's
the
got to
odds
be
way out,
and it's
right.
got to be rational, right? Like you said, right? If you're
And maybe you're not handing them out to every single person that comes up to your booth,
True.
but maybe you're giving them to someone who you're connecting with, right? So you're having a conversation with someone and you know that you're going to meet up with them again, right? You've got their business card, you've got their contact info in whatever way that you're collecting info at that time, and you're like, I want to give you something. Make sure that you think of me next time you're going to do XYZ.
So that's a good point. So like you don't always have to give everything out. If you
Doesn't
maybe
have to sit on your table.
Yeah, maybe a table full of some of the cheaper promotional items just so people can snag and have, and maybe they do throw it away, right? But it's, hey, it was cheap, right? To get something out there. And then you have something kind of under the table that you grab and you give.
That's secondary. That you're like, this is going to be my client, and I really want to seal the deal. I will give them. I was given a few weeks ago at a thing. We were talking to someone, and they were like, "Oh, here, let me give you a C charger." Because it was like behind their thing and it had their information on the charger. Okay, who's going to throw away a C charger, right? Because they're not as common now because now we're moving to them, but it's still like that newness is there.
Yeah.
But their information is on that charger and I'm going to keep it. And now I've got it, right?
Great.
What a great idea. And they're not just handing them out to everybody who comes up to their table, but to someone they collect their information from.
So not only collect the information, they also reduce their spend because they're not they're not giving away a ton of them. And then from a client-facing standpoint, they're also that client's feeling so much more like impacted, right? They're like, that person chose to give me one, right? And gave me one, right? So they're like, wow, I feel even more important.
I'm the special person.
Exactly.
Right? I'm not everybody
Feel
just
honored,
walking up
right.
and getting the junk.
Yeah, exactly.
Because to fill our bags with swag is great, but if the swag isn't being utilized...
How did swag get a... Sorry, but I didn't mean to like interrupt you, but like, how did we get... Like, how did that go...
How did
come
that
to
start?
fruition?
I don't know, what I mean? Right? Because like everybody wants you to rep their swag. Like wear my t-shirts, wear my lanyards, wear my stuff.
My stuff. And that was what swag... Okay, I got it. Okay.
And if you think about someone you want to wear your swag, they've got the swagger, right? Like you want to give it to someone who's going to like rep your brand well, right?
Kind of like influencers, right? You want them to influence. I get it. Okay. Swag.
That's why you're sending it to them. That's why you're giving it to them. I want you to utilize this and remember me and like be my...
Yeah, give me some swag. Yeah. Okay. I got it. I got it. So let's talk about also too, you had mentioned it briefly, but that's super impactful. And those are some of the things like I need to do better at, even from my business, is getting some stuff more personally for myself, right? In my brand. So, t-shirts, different things. I think I even saw that maybe you posted or posted something. You're embroidering some expensive stuff, right? So, so it's not just like, it's not always like one shoe or one size fits all kind of thing, right? You're customizing. Right. So how have you done that to help different business owners locally?
Right. So like right now I'm embroidering a whole bunch of Lululemon gear.
Nice.
And it's a real estate agent. He's a young guy and he wants his personalized logo on top of the Lululemon sweaters and the shirts and stuff to work out on, because wherever he goes, he wants people to ask him what he does and who he is, right? Because if we're just wearing our regular everyday, you've got a regular shirt on, you're not representing your brand,
correct? Right?
But if you're like, and sometimes it doesn't have to exactly spell out what you do. Right?
Sometimes it's better not to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I have a client who is at the Compass real estate team, and her team is called the A team. So we just put the A team on her shirts. So when she goes out, they're like, "What's the A team?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm a real estate agent. I'm the A team." So sometimes it's better to give that like little drop and have someone ask, because then it creates a conversation.
Curiosity kills the cat.
Right. So maybe like putting an RP on your shirt.
Yeah.
And then them being like, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Real Producers. It's a,
And that actually, you use that as an example, that exact thing happened. I kind of outgrew the shirts maybe, and also wore them to death. But I did. I just had a little RP, and that was exactly it. They're like, what does that stand for?
Right. Because it creates that connection. They want to know what's happening, and then it goes into this whole conversation of what you're doing. So,
and you can steer it. But you know what you just did, and everyone is going to be like, Andrew, you repeat yourself every single podcast. Well, guess what? It's true. You broke down another barrier of entry. So every single, time I have someone else, we're talking about breaking down barriers of entry. But that's what you did, right? You put something on someone's shirt to now allow them to break down a barrier of entry. And the other podcast we just had, it was about promoting a video or like putting stuff on social media. Well, guess what you're doing by that? You're breaking down a barrier of entry, because they're like, oh, I saw that, or whatever, whatever it is. So that's really interesting. I love that. So, so you can help out with not only like current equipment that they're running, you can also help them from a branding and giving out, but then you can also do the gifts, right? So there's multiple tiers.
Yeah. So my business has like 4 facets, right? So we do promotional products, we do signs and car wraps and shirts and regular printing. So those like 4 things are like the basis of our business, right? But it all starts really, like it starts at the top with your logo, right? So you start with your logo, and then you decide if you're going to do business cards or flyers or brochures or rack cards, right? And then you go from there into employee branding, your shirts, your polos, your worker shirts, your labor shirts, your embroidery, that kind of stuff. And then your vehicles turn into rolling advertisements. If you've got a blank Sprinter van, like what a waste of billboard space.
Amen to that.
Right? If you're driving around with your vehicle with nothing on it, wasteful. Especially if you're driving a lot. Bare minimum, back windows.
Something.
back windows are so inexpensive and a cheap way to get your logo out there for people to see.
You're sitting
right?
at the light. You're staring at someone's back window.
They're looking at your vehicle everywhere you go. And if you're driving all over, why is it not on your vehicle?
People pay money to have their
Right.
billboard on the side of a trolley
Right.
that drives around all day.
Right.
You have one. Just invest in yourself.
Drive it around, right?
You're already driving around.
Because
Just-
the ones that you see all the time, you're thinking of, right? Like you're seeing the AC companies, you're seeing like HR Gas all over. They have like 30 vehicles, right? Like the mouse, right? We see these vehicles all over town, and then they are always in your mind. So the simplest way is to turn your vehicle into a rolling advertisement. It's so silly not to. It's also a business write-off. Now your entire vehicle, the gas that you drive, everything is now a business write-off. Why are we not doing it more?
Right. If you have any questions on that, you can shout out to Jen. Go ask her, right?
Exactly. Jen will take care of it.
You know, it's funny because we were talking about it, and I did it the other day. I took a picture, Jag Mancini, shout out to him. He's got a moving truck that he gives to his clients or whatever. And I actually had a realtor up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, same thing. He had a moving truck he invested in, and he gives it to all his clients to use. It's wrapped with his face. Jack has it on his face, or Jack's face is also on it too. And so guess what I did? I was not using it. I wasn't his client at the time, but all I did, I took a picture and I sent it to him, top of mind, right? And someone saw it. So it works.
Right.
People need to be out there.
Yeah. And people pay for that, right? Like Sean King pays kids to put his phone number on their vehicle, 188 Sean King. Like we put it on numerous vehicles all the time, right? He'll call me and be like, I need another vehicle done. And he just puts his phone number on people's vehicles, but he's paying them monthly to ride with his phone number around so that people top of mind, right? So simple way.
If you're not top of mind, someone else is getting
Someone
the
else
business.
is.
Yeah. So it's the same thing of learning, right? If you're not constantly learning, you're going to fall behind, and someone else is going to swoop in and take that market share.
Absolutely.
So you got to be top of mind. You not only run the business, right? You also give a lot of your time to help out. Is it a nonprofit or is it a charity? It's a nonprofit organization, right?
So we've just started our own nonprofit. Night to Shine is a prom that I have co-chaired for the past.
So it's a nonprofit. Okay,
the past 7 years.
Yeah.
We just got our nonprofit.
Oh, you did?
status.
Okay, well, congratulations. That's
so
awesome.
previously, it is sponsored by the Tim Tebow Foundation. So we're under the umbrella of the Tim Tebow Foundation. It is a prom that is held at 22,000 churches worldwide the Friday before Valentine's Day every year.
That's awesome.
It's a prom for those with special needs, anything from autism up to cerebral palsy, anything in between, Down syndrome, that kind of thing. Just showing that God made everyone special and that he's got a purpose for everyone and that they get a night to really just have fun. They dance. They get crowned king and queen. We have a blast. It's the most incredible night of the year, and I look forward to it every single year.
But you've grown this so much. I mean, you and everyone that's been involved and the people that have helped, right? I mean, when I first heard about it, like, it wasn't that long ago. It was kind of an idea, and you wanted to get it going, right? And
so
now,
it wasn't my idea. My co-chair or my chairman,
or it was
chairwoman.
An idea. Sorry,
yeah. My chairwoman Sherry Epic. She is the one who came up with it. Started it at New Hope. I came on several years after she had started it. This is our 8th or 9th year at New Hope Church. So I've been involved 7 years with it.
Yeah.
I came on as a volunteer, and I've just slowly helped plan and coordinate and do more for it. And so we decided we wanted our own nonprofit to start up. So not only do we do the prom, we're looking for other churches to host the prom. So we're hoping that McGregor Baptist or McGregor Church in Fort Myers will host this year.
Because it's grown so much.
Absolutely.
How many people are we?
We have 175 guests, but we have more than 100 people on our wait list every year.
Wow.
So even
let's help you guys.
So
get
if you have
another
a church
spot.
that is large enough to host just 75 guests,
Perfect.
75 would be awesome because we have such a huge special needs community in Collier County. I mean, kids come from Immokalee, over here, right? They're coming all the way like an hour away to attend because it's such an incredible night. It is so much fun. They get paired up with a buddy. They get to ride in a limo. We give them hair and makeup and shoe shine, and we make them look beautiful. They get out of the limo. They come down a red carpet, and we cheer them on. And then they go to the prom, and it's just an amazing night of dancing and dinner and fun, and it's a blast. And then also in another room, we're taking care of the parents, because if you're a parent of a special need person, you don't get a break.
No.
You don't get to drop your kids off.
Right.
And no matter, your kid might live with you forever, right? Mm-hmm. My best friend's son is turning 16 next month, and he will live with them forever. He will never live on his own. And so she can't just drop him off at a babysitter. Right? Every once in a while, grandma can watch, but that's not very often. So they don't get date nights very often. So in the other room, we're taking care of the parents. And we're pampering them. And they're getting a sit-down dinner. And we bring in games from the mall. And we just take care of them. And we have stations where they can get their nails painted, and massage tables. Synergy comes and sets up massages for them. I mean, it's an incredible night of love for them, too.
Yeah.
Because they don't get to drop them off very often and to have just a time on their own. So in all, we serve 700 meals. We have 500 volunteers. We have 250 parents, 175 guests. It's an incredible night that just works seamlessly somehow, and we love it. So
that's beautiful. And the thing is, you light up. You can tell you're so passionate about it, right? And that's what's so amazing is obviously you've helped in ways, but there's a ton of people involved, right?
Oh, yeah.
That make it all happen, right? And there's a lot of businesses, right? And you guys are doing well for the community. So if it is a venue or if it's there's a lot of businesses that can get involved, right?
Yeah,
there's a lot of people
we are always looking for sponsorships. Little ones, big ones, however you feel fit. If that touches your heart, I love to talk to you about it. I love sharing my passion for Night to Shine. It is my favorite night of the year, and once you attend, you will never be the same.
Right. We have a lot of entrepreneurs on this as audience that listen to this podcast. You created a business. Talk us through that process, and what was the first mental
Sure.
I'm gonna do this?
My husband and I met 18 years ago, ironically at a club, and he was hawking business cards out of the back of his truck, and I was like, I was working at Party City as a manager.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, and he was like, well, you can come be a delivery person for me. He asked me if I could come deliver stuff for him, and I started doing deliveries for him, and I offered to take a look at his QuickBooks, and what a disaster. Jen would be ashamed of what I found. What is happening here?
Jen thought of mine when she first saw it. She's like, what'd you do? So.
Yeah, what's going on over here?
Right.
Yeah, hot mess express. And then we had been subbing all of our workouts. So I was like, we should buy a vinyl cutter I wanted to do rhinestones on T-shirts. So silly. I never did rhinestones on T-shirts. But I took that vinyl cutter and we started doing vehicle graphics.
That's so cool.
And then from there, I was like, we should buy a big printer to wrap cars and to do banners and signs. Right. And my husband's like, you're crazy. And I was like, it's fine. Let's just do it. So we bought that. A few years ago, we decided to buy a UV printer, which prints literally on anything.
Oh, that's so cool.
About 4 years ago, I decided to buy a laser engraver because I wanted to do ornaments, right? And so I bought this laser engraver, and my girlfriend was like, you should do cutting boards with handwritten recipes on them.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay. So I don't have, my family's all gone. So I reached out to my Facebook family, and I was like, hey, does anybody have a handwritten recipe? I'll do one for free on a board for you. So I did one on a board, and it turned out amazing. And that Christmas, I did 100 of these boards.
That's so cool.
I would take the handwritten recipe, burn it onto a board, and it turned into this amazing gift.
Oh, that's so cool. I actually have a little book of all my mom. My mom made it for me, and it's a little binder. It's got some of hers are handwritten, but it's even she photocopied other people's handwritten ones.
Right, like grandma's biscuits.
Exactly. Yeah.
And So I
Can't
love,
read some of them, but
right. Some of them are chicken scratch.
Yeah.
You really got to decipher,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I've had some of the funniest. I've got everybody's coveted recipes. I could probably make my own recipe book at this point.
Don't say that out loud. They're gonna come after you. Don't be. Yeah, you're not allowed to distribute our recipe.
But it's really the most beautiful gift. And then like right around Christmas. Like Christmas Day, the day after, I'll start getting all these texts. My mom cried. It was the best present ever. What a special memory. Thank you. Like,
Yeah.
And so then it turned into, I'm going to do cutting boards for real estate agents as gifts, right? Because I had one person ask me, and then I started doing them all the time, right? And then
A lot of pivots.
right. Just like moving into what is fun, because I don't want to do it if it's not fun. I don't want to make anything that's not fun.
Like they always say, you got to enjoy what you do. Right?
I love what I do because I enjoy creating something out of nothing.
Yeah.
It is like my pride and joy to like come up with nothing and like have this beautiful product. Like nothing makes me happier than seeing something I've done displayed somewhere and I'm like, it's beautiful.
And it was so bland before.
Right. Exactly. So and even in 2020, like pivoting and going, okay, no one's printing business cards or flyers or brochures. We're going to do outside banners and birthday signs because that's all we could do, right? And then moving to the engraving. And then last year, we were at a show and I saw this embroidery machine. I was like, I think I could do that myself. And my husband's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, let's get one. And so here I am figuring out how to embroider on shirts at Lululemon, $150 sweatshirts. And I'm like, fingers crossed that I don't ruin this one.
Right,
because
exactly.
I have ruined some shirts before.
You're like, ooh, I have to buy another one of these to fix it and make it right for the client. I don't want to screw these up.
Yeah. So we're like making sure that everything's good, but it was fine.
Yeah.
And then most recently, we also added a direct-to-film T-shirt machine. Traditionally in screen printing, we had a screen printing machine, but it is laborious, right? And it's a dying breed of artwork because you have to have someone physically pull ink through a screen onto a shirt. And when you're looking at a shirt with like 17 colors, realistically, you just can't do that.
Gotcha.
The newest form is called direct to film, shortened up. It's DTF, but not that kind of DTF.
I haven't heard that in so long. Oh
Not that kind of DTF.
Yeah.
Direct to film. So you can print full color directly onto a film.
Yeah.
All the colors, all the gradients, all the blending, doesn't matter. All the thoughts that you can have on colors can go down, and then we heat press it onto the shirt, and the powder dissolves into the shirt, creates a beautiful silky finish doing full color in 2 seconds.
Wow.
It heat presses 20 seconds. That would have taken an hour and a half on screen printing. It is revolutionizing the screen printing world. So we got that in January, and we have just been full force with that. That's probably the biggest portion of our business right now is employee shirts and creative shirts, right?
Yeah.
My daughter and I started a line called Collaborating with Christ. We have our own faith-based T-shirt line that we're working on.
Love that.
She's 10, and she's created all the artwork for it. And
Aw.
she knows how to print. She knows how to press. She knows how to do all that stuff. And so just raising up the next round of entrepreneurs.
That's amazing.
I always say we're raising entrepreneurs and not employees because my girls are not going to work for anybody else. They're going to be the CEOs
Love that. Love that.
of their own companies.
Yes, yes. Well, hey, we're gonna have to test out this DTF machine. I think
Absolutely.
I do wear a lot of just simple shirts. There's a few methods to my madness in a sense on some of these, right? Like, for example, on these podcasts, I like to be a little bit more plain to allow my guests to stand out, different things like that. But I do want some. And so I wear the same kind of style shirts for a lot of different things. So we're going to have to try it out. So you guys are going to have to check out the little video we'll create when we get that. And I'll come by.
Yeah, for
now,
sure.
Tell me about where this is all done. Like, Is this something that like you have a storefront? Like, do we order it online? Do I just reach out to you? Like, how's a client go about helping?
So
get a gift?
I'm moving more on to online because I had a storefront, but with my girls and their ages, I really want to step back from storefront day to day. We do have a warehouse where we produce all of these things, but it's not accessible to the public.
Right.
So I love to connect with people at I can come to your business. We can contact each other online. And I have tons of ideas for your business, I promise. Gotcha. So I would love to come to you. Otherwise, I work, behind the scenes because I really want to be present for my girls and be around for all the things. My daughter loves to act, and I want to be at all the things. Last week she was Veruca Salt and Willy Wonka, so I want to be able to be at those things, and I can't be there if I've got a storefront.
Yes.
So my storefront is still around. I'm just not physically there. I've got someone there working for me instead, which is located in North Naples. But I'd love to connect online and.
So reach out, and there's other things. There's other options where you can order the product in. If they need something specific, they can drop or ship it to you. So there's a lot of creative ways to do that. So reach out to her for any of those needs. I guess we'll come by. We'll do a little fun video of you guys printing, real producers on something, and we'll have a little fun. So
I'll show you the DTF.
That's the reel of the episode right here. So, well, it's been an absolute pleasure. We're already out of time. It has flown by. I just want to reiterate, though, you dropped so many nuggets that people need to go back and listen to. That it's about top of mind in branding, right? And so it's not one shoe fit. Oh my God, I can't even say that today. It's not one size fits all, right? There's a lot of different things that can help you grow as a business leader in whatever industry you are. So reach out to obviously Carolyn and what she can do for your business. So I appreciate you spreading a lot of those ideas. I know I learned some today of things that I could be doing and how I could be doing it better. I know I'm leaving a lot of, let's say, blank canvases or space out there doesn't have my brand on that could help me grow. So I appreciate you, spreading all that advice for people.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. All the information is below. Thank you for coming on the Reganard Report. We'll see you guys in the next episode.